Hi, all of you. We are very happy to be with you today and be able to exchange and spend a few time to exchange about the news. And I am Benoit Huc, I'm a sales and marketing director. I've been working for Colissimo for 7 years now. I have the pleasure to be accompanied by Florian, who is sales international sales manager. And we're going through a quick presentation. And please make yourself comfortable and ask as many questions as you want to. So let's start with I think you know the question because you're there today. So I don't go through the nutshell what is the context, the broad context nowadays. 1 year ago we were together and we were speaking about the growth we were experiencing because we've been in 2020 and 2021 experiencing a huge growth, around 40% growth. And now, since the beginning of this year, since the beginning of 2022, we are like experiencing a comeback to normal, like a small decrease in volume. And it's high time for us to think about working about the environment and reduce the environment footprint is something which is very important for Colissimo. We've been working on that topics very hardly for like 12 years now. We've been carbon neutral since 2012, a long time ago already. And we are willing to accelerate and decrease our environment footprint. And it's something, and we'll see later on that it's something their clients are very attentive to. So I wanted to start with a few figures around the e-commerce context in the French market. So if you consider 2020 and 21, the whole market delivered more than 1 billion parcels, and it was an increase. If you compare to the beginning of this year to 2021, is a small decrease of 12%. I think we all experience that decrease is kind of come back to normal, as I said previously. And we are still increasing by 15% this first quarter if you compare to 2020. The e-commerce sector in France represents 15% of the whole retail market, is the biggest e-commerce market on the continent, and the second one if you include the UK. So it has been increasing sharply these past years, and is still increasing in a pace of 8 to 10% every year, except this year, of course. If you go to the profile of the French e-buyers, first of all, as I mentioned, 72% of the e-shoppers value the importance to the environmental policy. And the market is very widespread, so 94% of the French households have received at least one parcel, so it's very common nowadays in France to receive parcel and to order online. And on the average, they receive around 30 parcels per year, knowing that 1/3 of the biggest e-shoppers are buying 3/4 of the whole volume, which is very concentrating, and it might be the same thing in all countries, European countries, I guess. So if I go through Colissimo, we are leading the market. We are the leaders of the market. So we have the pleasure to deliver 1 out of 2 parcels in France. So if the whole market is 1 million, we delivered 500 million parcels last year in 2021. And we enjoy a high quality of service with NPS. We will see later on we was 60 this year, which is quite good, I must admit. We have a wide range of services. First of all, we have home delivery with signature, without signature. We have PUDO solutions with 25,000 PUDOs delivery points, which is the highest level in France. We are very close to all the consumer, all the e-shoppers. And we are investing a lot, both in France. We lately, these past 3 years, constructed 5 platforms to enjoy the growth. And we invest abroad as well because we are delivering, exporting, helping our clients to export to 235 territories worldwide. So we have a wide range of products, and we are addressing a wide range of clients as well, more than 100,000, from the biggest platforms to the starters, the beginners, the newcomers. So I was speaking about the key figures and the quality of service. We are enjoying a very good quality of service, like we, thanks to the standardized mailbox. 75 of the mailbox in France are very standardized, like 26 by 26 centimeters and the width of 34 centimeters, which allows the postman to deliver directly the parcel within the mailbox, which is very useful and common in France, which gives us the possibility, the opportunity to deliver high quality of service. So we deliver 96% of the parcel for the first attempt, which is very nice. We automatically we come back if we fail the first time, the second day, the following day, and thanks to this we enjoy a 98% successful delivery, which is very high, thanks to our personnel and their commitment, and thanks to the fact that we enjoy 75% of standardized mailbox as well. So the NPS is very good. Last week it was 54, as you might see on the screen, and since the beginning of the year it's around 60. And we receive like 2,500 survey every day, so it's based on these responses. And during the peak period, we double the number of responses we receive. So it's based on a full range of clients giving back their feedbacks. Yeah, for sure.
Does everybody know what NPS is? Just raise your hand if you don't know. Okay, I'll explain. So NPS is Net Promoter Score. And what it is, when you do these surveys, so you said 2,500 surveys every day.
Every day, yeah.
Every day, 2,500 surveys. And they ask the receiver of the parcel to evaluate the service they receive, yeah? And it's a 0 to 10 score, okay? So you take there's no pen on there, is there? No. You take the 9 and 10, that's good. You ignore anybody who scored 7 and 8, right? You ignore that. And then anybody who scored 1 to 6, you take away that from the 9 and 10, okay? So normally, a positive NPS score is something like 10 or 15, 20, that's good. 54 is outstanding, outstanding. I've got a question though. Is this survey conducted by an independent, or is it your own in-house analysis? Who conducts the survey?
It's conducted by an independent agency.
Wow.
Yeah, and we send around 50,000 questionnaires to receivers every day, and we receive back like 2,500, as I said, questionnaire completed.
Okay, so to have a 54 score is trust me, that's a very, very good score. Okay, sorry, carry on.
So I have a question for you. Let's start. Do you have any questions so far? Something?
Any questions from the audience? No? You're okay for the moment, Angela? Okay, carry on.
Let's start the interactive part. So we have a question for you. So about how much we reduce our carbon emission per parcel since 2013. So I have many options for you. You have 3 options, and I'll let you guess what will be the right answer. I'll give back this.
Thank you, Benoit.
So just to be clear, this is the reduction since when, 2002?
2013.
2013, of the whole of Colissimo, not just delivery fleet, the whole business, yeah?
The whole business.
All the chain.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So Should we have a show of hands? How many thinks it's 14%? Nobody. How many thinks it's 32%? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How many think it's 83%? I have a horrible feeling it's 32, but anyway, go on.
Thank you, John. So thank you for your feedback, and it's interesting to see that we have people who maybe already know Colissimo and also optimistic people. The right answer is minus 32%. We have reduced about 32%. 83 is clearly a target where we want to go. It's our trend, our direction, but right now we are at 32%.
So guys, when we do this next year, right, we'll have 14, maybe 20 and 32%, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, because we raise expectation when you put 83% down. But 32% is still pretty impressive since 2012, so...
It's quite a good result,
yeah,
to be clear.
Yeah.
And also to share with you, so it's, we are La Poste in France market. We have a responsibility. We have a position where we need to do actions. We are followed as well, and we have this position on the market as a company to make evolution. 32% is good, but when we analyze, when we compare with the previous year, we win 4 points in only 1 year. And it's also the result of all the actions that we have initiated some years ago. And we clearly see the result now, and it will go upper and upper year by year. So to give you some highlights on where we are, so once again, as La Poste, we have the first position worldwide rated by the agency Vigeo. Thank you, Vigeo Eris, who give us the first position on the market since 2019. And since 2019, we remain on this position, also to the results, to all the actions that we do. We have several kind of action. We work, of course, to reduce the emission. We work to compensate as well, which lead us to 100% of carbon neutral delivery of all the parcels since 2012. So, which is also important for us and for our partners. And what we can also see is that we have activated different actions. We have the electric vehicles that we do have in our network, so 35,000 electric vehicles, so the first fleet which belong to this kind of vehicle. We have adapted as well the method to load the parcels, to organize all the connection between the networks, meaning that right now we have 90% of the parcel who are managed and organized on a bulk way, on a loose load way. Thanks to that, we have to reduce, of course, the emission of CO2. We win time, we go faster as well. And what we can see is when we focus on the big cities like Paris, for example, we know that by the end of 2023, Paris inside Paris, it will be zero emission. So, which is very interesting when we know the population of Paris, which is the most important in France, of course. What is also interesting to notice is that with all the hubs that we do have and the new hubs that we are developing on our side, it's always 100% using electricity with renewable energy, thanks to solar panels that we implement on those hubs. And so at the end, yes, we have the 32%, 83. This is a target that we have to reach. But what we can also give you as a next step, we know that thanks to the actions that we measure, that we monitor, by 2025, we will have 50% of the parcel who will be decarbonated. So one parcel on two will be with zero emission. So which is for us a challenge, but an important challenge that we have to lead on our side. If we focus then on specific topics, first one is the buildings. We have invested a large amount of money since. Sorry, thank you, Benoit. I forget. We have invested a large amount since the last years, 450 million to have new hubs, new facilities. So we had 5 new facilities, which help us to be more efficient. We have a different method to process the parcel, very smooth for the parcels. We can carry and process parcel up to 40,000 parcels per hour, which is very, very important if we compare with the past. As well, we see it on the picture. We have many doors. It's really long facilities where we can have many doors, several doors, to make a lot of sortings for the parcel for the different hubs, but also for the delivery site. So we can do the loose load, and we can also avoid some steps in all the chains, which help us, so once again, to win time and also to be more green and more sustainable in our approach.
Can I just pause there? And we have a question here at the front. Oh, we heard that.
I don't know that. There it is.
It is on. It is on.
Thank you. My name is Feline. I'm from Spring. But I was wondering, I saw on the previous slide you were the number one in terms of sustainability. I was wondering, is that related to your national network, or is this also including the global or in the cross-border shipments?
I think it's a national.
National is the group La Poste, which is yes, and that's a whole business, international business included.
Okay, so that's domestic France. Okay. And did you have another question? Or? Okay. We have a question here at the front. So if you say who you are and your company. Yeah.
My name is Brian. I work for Wentronic in Germany. Just a question, is your ranking on Scope 1, Scope 2, or Scope 3, or some combination of that for your CO2 emissions?
Can you just explain Scope 1, 2, and 3 to those that might not know?
Sure. When you're measuring your carbon output, there are 3 different levels of emissions. Scope 1 and 2 are generally your direct emissions, what you're producing by yourself,
vans,
buildings,
hubs, buildings,
cars.
Yeah.
Scope 3 is more external things, so maybe goods that you buy, goods that you ship in, potential business trips depending on the classification, how you fly. So Scope 1, Scope 2, Scope 3, is it a group thing, or is it based on headquarters, because you can dice it many different ways?
Sure.
It's a group things, and we put all the business all together. Say it might be the way we produce it, but 96% of our emission is based on transportation. 96%. So as long as we work on that particular issue, we dramatically reduce the footprint.
So on the transportation thing, if I can just jump in here for a second. So obviously it's 96% is the actual transportation of parcels.
Yeah.
So that's the last mile fleet.
Yeah.
Yeah. You say you're 100% electric for the last mile, yeah?
No, 100%.
Okay.
We have 35,000 electrical vehicles.
Okay.
100% decarbonated is for Paris up to 2023.
Okay.
And the idea is to extend it to all the big cities.
Across the whole business. And what about line haul? Do you try and use rail? Is that possible? Or do you have to use diesel line haul tractors?
So we have 3 different items. First of all, 100% of electricity used in the buildings are renewable. That's the first thing. Second thing, as you mentioned, in 2025, 22 cities, the bigger cities in France, will be carbon free. It's the reason one parcel out of 2 will be decarbonized by 2025, which is very short. It's a short-term commitment. And the third thing is line haul. And by using the loose loading, the bulk loading, we are able to load up to 4,000 parcels per truck instead of 1,300.
Wow.
So
you used to have a caged operation?
Yeah.
And then you switched to this load?
To slowed.
Which means you can have mechanized hub.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. It's the reason why it helps to reduce dramatically the environment footprint by using this method. And we change all the process with our major clients as well.
Okay, it's clear. Any questions on any of that? Nope, we're all good. Right.
Yeah, just on top of that, on what Benoit said is when a parcel is injected in our network, we need 4 minutes to just offload it, process it, and go directly to the exit point, to the next truck for the next step of the chain. We were talking about the loading, the transportation part. if we go to the transportation part, we work with swap bodies. So meaning that with the loose loads that we organize, that we manage, we fill on the best way. We try to be really efficient on the way to load the trucks, but we also use swap bodies instead of single standard truck, meaning that we have also win 20 to 30% of additional capacity by line haul. So each line haul is more efficient and helps to reduce the carbon footprint at the end.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, we do have this.
Sorry, we have a question over there in the corner. If you just keep your hand up so she can see you. Yeah. Just say who you are and where you're from.
Yes, so Petrut from PVH in Amsterdam. I want to go back to your targets. Could you tell me how do you set your targets? Is it maybe an SBNI target? And the quantification of your GHG, what type of methods do you use? And also, is the method certified?
So when you talk about the target, it was regarding the figures, 83.
How do you set up your targets?
No, these figures was more to give an highlight of a very clear and good target. But the realistic target is the 50% up to 2025, so on a very close timing. And we measure it thanks to all the reduction we do on a daily basis with all the hubs. It is linked to the fact that I was talking about the new hubs that we had. We're also investing to new hubs. All those new generation hubs have to reduce the footprint emission on the first mile processing, but also also the fact to get this part helps to be more efficient once again, but to reduce the chain. So we can avoid sometimes to have a second sorting on the second hub. We will make some direct connection, and we measure that. We know that thanks to that we go faster, and we reduce the emissions. And that's why we have this minus 50%.
And how do you measure your emissions? Do you base it on a protocol? Is it certified?
It's certified. It's an independent agency, and since June 2021, we have what we call in France entreprise à mission, like a mission company, and it's a third party coming and investigate everything. So you can be greenwashing. You have to keep to your engagement, and you have to open your book. And people are just controlling what we are announcing. It's a reality, so it's very, very, very demanding. Yeah.
See, thanks.
Does that answer your question? Yeah. Okay. So just to add on what the gentleman said, I'm guessing 2012 was when you did the extensive "Where are we now?" and you measured all the carbon in every corner of the business, and all of the improvement is based on that 2012 benchmark. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. We started at the beginning of the 2000th century, and by 2012 we were neutral already, and we were measuring, reducing and compensating with projects in Africa and more reforestation in France as well.
Right.
It's already nearly 10 years ago. Now it's new for the...
So you were neutral in 2012, but you were offsetting.
Offsetting.
Right.
Yeah. Offsetting.
By offsetting projects and blah, blah.
Exactly. And now we're working on reduction of carbon.
On positive reduction,
positive
which is the important thing, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Any questions? There's a question here. Back row, white shirt. Very smart gentleman.
Thank you. Alex Ted Baker, UK. I came here today just to learn a little bit more about carbon neutral, and I'm not very well versed in it. But one of the things I wanted to ask was, I know that the customers are asking for this. This is a real driver. But is there any legislation, from a country perspective that you guys have to fulfill or meet? And is there any penalties if you don't hit these targets, or is it compulsory, or is it a voluntary scheme that you guys enter into?
So for your first remark, I guess we noticed that 53% of the e-shoppers are considering environment footprint as decision making, so it's something very important for our customers, first of all. And regarding the regulations, yes, we have to comply with obligation within main cities, and is the reason why we are accelerating in 22 bigger cities in France, and overall we have to make effort in 40 cities. Yeah. for congestion, reduce the traffic first of all, and reducing the pollution as well. Is the reason why we are rethinking the whole process within the cities, building new facilities within the cities, like small depots closest to consumers, and from that depots we're going using like electrical vehicles or bicycles or whatever, you know.
So it's two-pronged, and so there's a financial impact to not meeting these requirements as well.
It can be, but in terms, it can be like yes, like fine, but we are not. It's not our motivation. Yeah, our motivation is deeply ingrained in our DNA from the start because we were one of the first one. So it's something we want to accelerate as part of our brand platform, you know, and it's a commitment we want to deliver to our customer and society.
That's great, thank you.
But you know, there is a correlation, I believe, in terms of if you reduce your CO2, you also reduce your euro spend as well.
Yeah.
So it's a no-brainer, yeah, to focus on really driving down your carbon footprint, because it drives down your costs as well, because you become more efficient.
Yeah.
Less line haul. Your loose load switch means you've got less line haul.
Yeah.
It's much faster to unload as well. It's mechanized, it's automated, and all good stuff. Are there any other questions before we move on? Nope.
And we have to innovate as well. So we have partnerships with a lot of startups, like reusable packaging as well. So we're trying to develop, this kind of solutions for the French market, first of all.
So if I was a client of Colissimo, you can provide me with sustainable packaging.
Yeah, sustainable reusable packaging.
Okay.
Packaging we can be reused up to 100 times.
Okay.
So we experiment this kind of thing. We experiment the neighbors delivery as well to reduce footprint and to increase the quality of service as well. So you can deliver better solutions, more appreciated to clients. At the same time, you can make reduction in cost and be environmental friendly. I think it's all compatible. And the more it's compatible, the more you motivate the teams and everyone around the projects.
So just on that point, you took the decision to offer a Leave with Neighbour service, yeah?
Yeah.
So you must have done some research, because not all cultures in Europe are happy about that. Some countries do not want their neighbours to know their deliveries, yeah? So did you do some research, or did you just impose that decision?
We interact with clients, the e-shoppers, and he can choose to make it delivered to his neighbors.
Okay.
It's not compulsory.
Is it on an app?
It's on an app, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You can
So I can select my preferred delivery option?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're experiencing in Paris at the moment. It's not widely spread, but it's something we are working on.
Okay. Can I ask, I should have asked you guys this first of all. Raise your hand if you're a retailer. I know you are, Ted Baker. Hands up if you're retail. I'm not going to pick on you, I promise. Okay, so everybody puts their hands up. Okay. So it's probably about a third are retail. How many of you ship into France or within France? 1, 2, a lot. Almost all of you. Okay, that's cool. You do, obviously. Yeah, Spring. Okay, good. That's interesting to know. Last question before you carry on. You mentioned you have, I think, 25,000 parcel shops, post offices, locker boxes. Is that 25,000 all of that? Locker boxes, bureau de poste, parcel shops?
It's a mix of parcel shops, of post offices and of lockers. So mainly shops, but by the combination of both networks, it leads to get this huge amount of 25 pounds, to be very close and a great proximity with customers. And also, we see that we don't have the same kind of consumers going to the post office or to the shops. So thanks to that, we reach everybody in France.
Okay. And is this a closed network? Only Colissimo can access that network? Or do you open it up to certain partners?
So post offices are only La Poste,
Okay.
only Colissimo. The shops are shared with a group approach, you know, with a Chronopost and DPD.
Okay.
But we are exclusive, so meaning that a shop cannot propose Colissimo and other carrier.
Okay.
We are exclusive on that.
And forgive me if it's on a later slide, and I'm asking this question too soon, but So you've got 25,000 shops. Your biggest competitor, you don't have to name them unless you want to, but your biggest competitor, how many parcel shops do they have?
12,000.
So half your size. Okay.
Absolutely.
And are you going to stop at 25,000, or is the plan to increase that number? And if so, how will you do that? Through locker boxes, or you think 25,000 is perfect?
We're gonna develop two offers. First one, a low-cost offer with less PUDOs, because it's costly to have 25,000 PUDOs and pickup solutions. And so we have two offers: a low-cost solutions with less PUDOs, and this one, which is a premium one and more costly. Yeah, depending because with the 25,000 PUDOs, we make sure that all e-shoppers can pick up his parcel within the space of the course of less than 8 minutes. By walking, by using the car, whatsoever. So the maximum it takes for the e-shopper to pick up the parcel is 8 minutes.
8 minutes. So 8 minutes walk or transport to the nearest, and that covers what, 90+% of the population of France?
Yeah, this is the whole population.
The whole population. Yeah. Okay, cool. Any questions on any of that before the guys carry on? We have one here.
I'm Jacob about company Herbalife.
I recognise you.
Okay. Yeah, I do. How are you?
The question, first of all, is what's the percentage of PUDO or pick-up drop-off point deliveries now?
It's roughly 20%. 80% still home delivery, preferred method in France, but 20% for PUDO.
The other question is about, we talk about sustainability, and if people have to drive to collect a parcel at a PUDO shop, and if all people are doing a lot of e-commerce, they use different companies, they have to go to all different PUDO shops to collect. Is that not a little bit counterproductive?
I'll just scratch that question off then, shall I? Thank you very much. That's a really good question, and I see a few smiling faces. So there is this feeling, right, that, and this horrible word greenwashing, right? But you're basically kicking the problem to the consumer, and they have the carbon, you don't, because they have to drive. So how do you counter that? Do you understand the question?
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, by home delivery or PUDO delivery, there is both interest on both sides. For the PUDO, what is very nice is that we consolidate several parcels on one point. So meaning by this action, we do first reduce the emission of CO2, and after, the consumer comes to the point to collect the parcel. They can come by walk, as we said, Benoit was explaining. We really work to be very close on the city center this way, and on the other side, other ones will come by car. But the consolidation on the first part helps also to get this stability.
That's only from your point of view looked at, because customers, they buy with a lot of other shops, using a lot of other companies, e-deliveries, doing the same. So at the end, they have to collect at several locations. Besides of that, walking and collecting a box, where a box might be 20 kilograms, I don't think that's going to work in all cases, is it?
We do have music, we get the point, and once again, we have to combine. We have to combine. We have the consumers who like to get some choice, to get being delivered at home, to get some chance to be delivered. So we have to combine the customer experience, the sustainability approach. We work on both sides, there is always, of course, challenge to manage.
So the PUDO is actually only a kind of add-on service. It's not a replacing service, because home delivery will stay in place.
Of course. Once again, 80% people like it. They like to meet the postman who come every day in every street in France. They know him, so there's a connection. So home delivery have a long life.
I think it's a really good point. I think it's like a silent disco. So if you want to start dancing, guys, feel free. It's not a problem for me at all. Okay, should we move on and we maybe come back if we have a bit more time, because it's a really good point that you raised. Carry on.
So we are coming to the end, but the last part was the last mile. So it was already explained, but we explained already what we did and what we are doing right now. Investing a lot on the city center. We know there is a lot to do here. There is a congestion, a lot of cars. So we have those buildings very close to the city center. We have the vehicles who will deliver the parcel. You have this example with a cargo bike. A cargo bike helps to be so carbon free, sure, but also to be very close to deliver the delivery points. You know, to avoid to have a car blocking the street. It's very very helpful, and so we are investing a lot on that part. So 22 cities are in this plan to reduce the emission on the city center, which is clearly key on our current time.
Can I just ask you how this works? Because is that a fixed body? So how do the cargo bikes get their parcels? Do they have to cycle to a depot, a micro depot in the city centre, and then they load their bikes up? And is that the model?
It is loaded on the depot, exactly, and then they take their bike. So instead of taking a car, they take their bike, making their turn. They can have 50 to 60 parcels to deliver by tour.
Okay.
And yeah, they do it this way. Clearly.
Okay. And so 50, 60 parcels, is that typically done in half a day and they go back and have a second wave or?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 2 waves.
2 waves at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it keeps them fit, I guess, as well, yeah? Yeah. Any
I-
questions? Cargo bikes, pretty cool, yeah? Herbalife.
Yeah. Sorry to keep on going on this. Sustainability, and you're talking about the congestion in the cities and so on. Is this whole discussion not the end of the last mile delivery by all individual companies? Why not combining the last mile delivery? Because for a customer, it doesn't matter to me at all who's delivering at the door. I don't think that any customer is checking, oh, it's Colissimo, that's why I'm going to use that company, or buy there.
Okay, so what you're saying is why not have the last mile delivery all aggregated and have a single player do all the deliveries for everybody in France?
It's a good question. It's an open market, of course, so each actor, each car try to find his own solution, working on the service and on the sustainability. On our side, as La Poste, so we are Colissimo, but we are a group, La Poste will also deliver some Chronopost parcels, so we have those channels developed already in the group between DPD, Colissimo and Chronopost to consolidate, reduce the emission and make the delivery more efficient at the end.
Okay, it's a really interesting point. Do you have any more slides or?
We were arriving at the end. Maybe you
Yeah.
wanted to.
Any questions?
conclusion?
Yeah, let's throw it open to the floor. Question over here. So if you just say who you are and your company, yeah?
Thank you. My name is Rudy Karl Lagerveld. My question is on the last mile, this beautiful picture.
Mm-hmm.
Is it something you can offer to, as an end consumer, can I choose this solution? That I want to have my parcel delivered by this nice service instead of a truck?
That's a good
Is
question.
that optional or?
No, it is not optional. Our goal clearly is to go on that direction. So we develop it already, once again in Paris, and all the main city centers. But no, we develop the network to make it more sustainable. But no, you can't choose it as a consumer.
If you have it available in one area, then everybody in the area will be
Exactly.
served by
We
this.
profit of this new solution.
Okay, thank you.
But by using Colissimo, you make sure that you are using a solution neutral in carbon already, as you know, and we are committed, as we said, to make carbon free in 40 cities in France by 2025. So by using Colissimo, you're carbon free in these cities.
And if I captured the numbers earlier from your slide, you currently deliver approximately 50% of all to-see deliveries in France. 500 out of 1 billion, is that right?
Yeah, we're delivering half of the market.
So at the moment you have a 50-50 chance that it's a Colissimo delivery. Okay. Anybody else got any questions? I have a question about the customer experience. So you've got a very good NPS score, we've established that. So how have you if you could list, and I haven't, actually this is a horrible question, right? What are the 3 things you've done that have had the biggest positive impact on the customer experience? By the customer, I mean the customer that receives the parcel, not the customer who ships the parcel, yeah? So for the customer experience of the receiver, what are the 3 things you've done that makes it the best possible experience?
The basic thing is the quality of service. So we improve to 98% successful delivery. As I mentioned earlier on, we successfully deliver 95% of the parcel for the first attempt, and if we fail, we come back the following day, and we put it in place last year, and we come up to 98% of the parcel delivered the following day, which is a lot. And for the 2% left, they can pick up to the PUDO solution, which is within 8 minutes walk or drive or whatsoever. So it's very convenient solutions, very qualitative. So all the clients are saying that when they do benchmark, they consider Colissimo as is enjoying the best quality of service in France nowadays. So it's very basic. Secondly, we have high capabilities, and we are able to enjoy peak seasons. It's what we have done the last two years in 2020 and 2021 during the pandemic. So we were enjoying like 80% increase certain month. So we were able to deliver a high quality of service with such growth. So our merchants know they can sleep deeply during the peak period. We can deliver their business. It's a certain thing. And we are quite innovative. We improve the interaction with the e-shoppers, making possible, we make them the possibility to choose different options and choices, and they like it, the flexibility of it. And innovation with reusable parcel, for instance, and we work on advising our e-merchants regarding the packaging, for instance. We noticed that we are still shipping 30 to 40% of hair, which is for the planet and the environment something dramatic, and it's a lot of expensive for our clients as well. So we help them to reduce the size of the parcels and give them some advice to reduce the footprint, the environment footprint, and the cost of the shipping. So I would say the high quality of our service, a lot of innovations, and the advice and the proximity we have with our clients.
Okay, cool. It's awesome hair. For being so honest. Thank you for your honesty.
And you are very welcome at stand B70.
B70.